Slow, I finished my art. I still don't know what the folk to do now. I had paper.
What?
Art tips and someone paying $12,000 to do art good.
Okay, so I can't get enough of these art tips on TikTok. And I'm not gonna lie, some of them are actually pretty solid. So let's look through some more art tips on TikTok today and see what gems we can find.
Skin tutorial.
Skin tutorial. I love skin tutorials.
Skin. Put your base color.
Oh yeah, that's music to my eyes. I love it. You gotta put down a base color. Don't just go in immediately with like all the nuanced rendering. Get a good sense of the overall look of the colors on your character and then get into like the soft shading, the blending and all that. Good job.
Why does she sound like that now, the fat? Anyways,
Why does who sound like what? What are you talking about?
I'm so bad at recording WTF.
Why would you put that in the tutorial video? Come on, you be nice to yourself, guys.
Now take the blush and add it on the lips.
Okay, that's so funny because I do this exact same thing. Like I would apply a blush color and then I would use that color as a base for the color of the lips. Do you watch my tutorials by any chance?
You should end up with something like this. Yeah, have fun.
Pretty similar to my own workflow, so I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10. Oh, this is getting a little bit too predictable. You gotta use a different sound. Not gonna lie, I fell for the first one that I saw, but now every time I hear this sound, I know the troll is coming. Step up your game a little bit. 1 out of 10. Where's the effort?
Let's draw a 3/4 view face. Okay, so to start off, we're just gonna draw a circle. Sorry to bring math into this, but since we're drawing 3/4 of the face, we're gonna want to place our center line.
I hate math.
Somewhere around here. So from there, we're going to draw a smaller oval right at the side of the face, right about here. And in the middle, we're gonna put a little dot. We're gonna let this dot guide us down and over.
Okay, so far you're doing a great job, but instead of putting that circle there arbitrarily, you could actually use the other 3/4 line that you drew earlier on that circle to find where that line is gonna be, where you're gonna start the jaw from under the ear. Okay, so great job. I think you really got the essence of how to construct a basic head, but this line in front, that's the eye line. It's important to remember not to put that down arbitrarily. You can't just do it randomly. Okay, let me show you guys why. So I got a charging cable here, okay? Now I'm gonna put it on my eye line. I'm looking at you guys straight on. You can see this line on my eyes. This is my eye line and it's completely straight. But now when I tilt my head up, you see that curvature in the eye line? Now if I tilt my head down, you see what's happening with the eye line? It's following the front curve of my face. So this line is not, ow. You have to make sure that the perspective of this eye line follows whatever position your subject is in. Great job on the video. That's a 9 out of 10 from me.
It's hair tutorial time, bit chess.
Bit chess. I can't even complain. That's so creative. Bit chess. Bit chess. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get demonetized.
Add flyaways to your main log.
I love that. I love that. I absolutely love whenever I see people talking about hair in terms of their collective shapes and not individual strands. This is something that I always talk about. This is something that you need to keep in mind. Don't draw hair as individual strands, but instead add, you know, these flyaway loose strands onto a main shape to give it the illusion of hair. When it comes to drawing, everything is a lie. You're lying to your audience, telling them that there's a scene on this 2-dimensional surface that looks 3-dimensional, but it's not actually there. None of it actually exists. Everything in art is a lie. It's about the illusion. Save time, live better.
Coloring tutorial. Still trying to figure this style out, TBH.
I can't do it. The voice, I can't do it.
You want to make really cool little inked head icons.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
This.
These
and
look
maybe
cool.
you want to spice up your line art just a wee bit and make it nice and kind of blurry. The first thing you're going to do is ink your drawing.
Oh, the first thing you're going to do is ink your drawing. The first thing you're going to do is ink your drawing? What if I don't know how to ink my drawing?
This is the only shape that you need to draw hands. Let's go. Arm, palm, fingers, pink.
I like that. You're breaking down all the components of the hand into individual shapes. And you guys notice how she didn't actually draw the third segment of the finger. This is a very common thing that a lot of artists do, especially when it comes to like simplified characters in animation. They usually just take out the third segment in your finger because you have 1, 2, and 3 segments in that finger, but you don't necessarily need the third one for your hand to look super expressive.
Arm, palm again. And let's add the thumb. Fingers, arm, palm again with thumb, fingers, Boom. Boom. And
I love it. That's really good. This is like the natural kind of tapered shape that we always talk about when it comes to bodies. You know, you can find it in the arm, you can find it in the torso, you can find it in the hips, you can find it in the hands and on the small parts of the body. If you want to draw a really compelling character, you got to have these nice tapered shapes in your drawings. And this is why our boy Ethan Becker likes that triangle shape so much, because it's got the same kind of tapering logic as this tapered rectangle shape. It's the same thing. Everything's based on the same concept. I love it. 10 out of 10. Teach the world how to draw hands. Stop running from your responsibilities and draw your hands.
How to make your art look more finished.
How to make your art look more finished. I think you could just finish your drawing, but I'm gonna keep an open mind. Let's see.
Splo, I finished my art. I still don't know what the fuck to do now. Add paper.
What?
No, what the fuck?
What does that say? Splo, I finished my... What the fuck?
Find a picture of paper texture.
Find...
And open it as a layer. If your paper is off-white like mine, fill another layer with white or black. Set the blending mode to merge the color layer.
Do you see what I see? Layer 103? Jesus Christ. What have you been doing? Bro, I'm scared right now. What if you're like, I gotta tweak this little piece of stray hair on the character, and then you gotta like look through 100 layers to find where it is? Yeah, everybody built different. Honestly, I can't. Like 10 layers is already pushing the limits of my brain.
With the paper layer. Then set the blending mode to multiply or burn. You got paper texture before.
After. Ooh, that's pretty cool. If you want to make a digital piece and you want to trick people into thinking that it's a traditional piece, like this is it right here. 10 out of 10. Good job. Boy, she did.
Just kidding. The art style is great. Let's not shame children for being early on in their art journey.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Let's not shame the kids for being early on in their art journey or just trying to explore a different art style. But I will shame you if you provide bad tips to the kids. But here's the thing. I know there's a lot of trigger happy people out there who are just like, man, let me just fix everybody's art. Let me just show them how this thing is done. But not everybody is trying to draw things 100% anatomically correct all the time. Sometimes people want to explore a crazy art style. Sometimes people don't want to draw the ankles on their characters, and that is fine. The base, fundamental reason why we all do art is so that we have fun, and people have fun in different ways, right? Some people like to do things that are realistic, some people don't. Every single method is valid.
Art tutorials be like.
Yeah. Is that a fish? That's a fish. Oh, it's a koi fish. You know what? I understand the pain. A lot of art tutorials out there are like this. It's so easy to follow along for the first few steps, and then they're like, oh, just add some colors in. Now they have a finished piece, and you're like, what the f? But not my tutorials, guys. Check out my Patreon for my tutorials. These ones hit different. See? Guys, please get a new sound. This is too predictable now. Like, I want to get trolled, but I see it coming. I want to get trolled. Put some more effort into these. How I color eyes. Let's do it. Base color, yep. White, yep. That's exactly how I do it. Oh, blending. Trial and error. Blur? What is this? Dude, that what? That was one of the most complex eye processes I've ever seen. I usually use just one layer for the eye, but you know what? Everybody works differently and the results speak for itself. So good job. If this is your preferred process, you go get them. 9 out of 10 for sharing that with the world. But you lost 1 point because save time, live better. Albert Einstein. How to define your line art. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited.
Find your light source. The high points of your subject will be hit by the light.
So what this person is saying is wherever the light is coming from, the planes that are facing the light will be hit by the light. Jesus Christ, look at my arm. I look huge.
Darken and define the lines where the shadows will be put. This will create more definition in your line art. Look at the difference.
Yeah, so that's a huge difference. The original piece had basically the same kind of weight for all the lines. You want to have a good variation between thicks and thins. You want to have a bit of both. It gives you flow to your line art. In a lot of cases where people are like, you gotta have a variation in the weight of your lines, the babies are like, oh, where do I put the thicks and where do I put the thins? This is a really good way to do it, okay? If there's a light source coming from the front, you can put the darker lines where the shadows are gonna be. Good stuff, man. 8 out of 10.
Art tips and someone paying $12,000 for art good. This is part 3 of...
Please stop making brownies from a box.
Stop using custom brushes for everything, okay?
No!
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, but it's easy. And I'm
A
stupid.
genius.
Please stop.
Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, that brush is kind of cool. But this right here is why all the traditional artists are like, dude, your computer does everything for you. They see this and they're like, well, the kids don't do any of the work. Things you should buy if you draw using an iPad, okay. Replacement Apple Pencil tips. That's a really good point because your tip is going to go through a lot of wear and tear the more you use it. That didn't come out right. Paper-like screen protector. Now, I've never been sponsored by Paper-like, but I don't know about the brand specifically. I think any kind of matted screen protector would work just fine. I know Paper-like spends a lot of money on their marketing, so they get their products in the hands of a lot of YouTubers and stuff like that. And I've seen the prices on those things. It's expensive. I just got a cheap one on Amazon and it works just fine and it doesn't wear down my pencil tip at all. A stand for your iPad. I'm all for this one because you don't want to be hunching over all the time drawing in your lap or like leaning back in bed and drawing with your neck cranked in a weird position. It's just not good for you. Get a stand, prolong your life a little bit. Really good recommendation there. I think those 3 are like the must-haves if you're drawing on an iPad. So good job, 9 out of 10.
I know with the evolution of digital art and the ability to zoom in, we can get swept up in the hundreds of tiny little details in our drawings. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but there's definitely something to be said about less is more. One of my favourite ways to challenge myself is to draw using as few lines as possible. There's something about using one long sweeping line or using a block of colour, and it just pleases me so much.
Okay, so first of all, that's a beautiful piece. I love the stylization, love the textures, the lines, and the message is beautiful. When it comes to digital art, it's so easy to just zoom in and start focusing on things that are completely inconsequential to the final piece. And sometimes it really is true that less is more. Sometimes keeping things simple can offer you a more compelling drawing than trying to render every single aspect of that painting. And the more you get into this thing, the more you start learning about art, the more you know about it, the more you're gonna realize just how hard it is to actually keep things simple. To me, that simplification, that stylization is way more impressive than being able to draw something one for one.
Draw a curved line using the symmetry tool, fill it, add a neck, and then add these little 2 lines, duplicate them, move them up, and add a nose to the center one. Then we'll draw the eyes just below the top little line. Then we'll start adding details to all the features in the face, but I will explain every single step in the full You Can Draw This video.
Art with flow. Wait a minute. I think I've seen this person comment on my YouTube videos. How you doing? To each their own, but for my personal style, I don't like to use the mirror tool because I believe that every single face has asymmetrical properties to it. But I mean, if you're drawing stylized stuff like this and you just want to save some time, it's good. And congrats on making it into the video. All right, that's it. I hope you guys found this video fun to watch. I hope you guys learned something new. And TikTok is not so bad. I'm coming around to it, to be honest with you guys. I was born in '98, so I don't really know which generation I fit into. I always feel like I'm not chaotic enough to be a Gen Z, but I also feel like I'm not sad enough to be a millennial. I don't know, I've just been drifting around, but I feel like TikTok is starting to grow on me. I think my Gen Z side is starting to flourish. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed any of those videos, go give those TikTokers some support. I'm sure that would make them very happy. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more art content like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Oh, what am I doing with my life? What are you doing, Sam? What are you doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?